So the decision that we knew in truth was probably going to happen has happened. Crystal Palace have been kicked out of the Europa League. Why? Multi-club ownership. We've already spoke about this at length before, guys, but it's just been revealed on the 11th of July 2025 that Crystal Palace are officially kicked out of the Europa League. Essentially, it is down to the fact that John Textor, who was until recently a co-owner of Crystal Palace, is also the owner of Olympique Lyon over in France. Lyon were relegated to Ligue 2 because of financial irregularities. However, they have since appealed against this and they have been reinstated in the French top flight. That has also reinstated their place in the Europa League. Because of the multi-club ownership rules, that means that Crystal Palace cannot take part. Now, this is despite the fact that Textor has since sold his stake in Crystal Palace, meaning that he no longer has direct involvement with both clubs. Indeed, Textor has said publicly that even when he was a shareholder of Crystal Palace, he was not a controlling shareholder. He was not the person who had the outright biggest influence there, effectively. But UEFA disagree with that. That is why Palace have been kicked down to the Conference League. So they still will be in European competitions, but in the Conference League rather than the Europa League. Now, Crystal Palace can appeal this decision, and they reportedly will appeal this decision at the Court for Arbitration of Sport. However, with UEFA's rules being the way they are, I will be shocked if this decision is overturned. This is an absolute gut punch to Crystal Palace supporters who were looking forward to seeing their side in the Europa League after winning their first ever major piece of silverware last season, sensationally winning the FA Cup against Manchester City. Now, nothing will take the shine off of that day, but Palace fans are absolutely enraged by this, but also not really surprised either. My good friend Dan has given me some words to read out for this video because, I wanted to get a Palace fan's opinions on this just to get what they kind of thought about it and everything. And it kind of goes along the lines of what I've been saying for quite some time, really. Dan basically said that, in short, this is corruption in football at its finest, and he worries for the future of football. The threat of the so-called Super League is growing daily. The only people who suffer are the real supporters of clubs, and other clubs should take note of this decision. It's making it incredibly difficult for clubs who want to break the glass ceiling of football. Finance and legacy is more important than mediocrity and the supporters. And I have no doubt that Dan's words there very much do resonate with a lot of football supporters around the world, not just Palace fans, but also fans of clubs in England outside of the traditional Big Six. But like I said, this has not taken the shine off of Palace's achievements. Under Ollie Glasner, they have done a fantastic job over the last couple of seasons to really establish themselves and win their first piece of silverware ever. And to be honest, it's given them a better chance of winning more silverware on top of that as well. The Conference League really is a winnable competition for them. And it would be, as Dan says, the ultimate middle finger to UEFA if they managed to win the competition, which I can't agree with more. People question the significance of the Conference League, but, for a team like Chelsea, it's a formality winning it. But for a team like West Ham, when they won it, or a team like Crystal Palace, it's a massive deal. It's a European trophy at the end of the day. And Glasner has experience of winning European silverware. Of course, he won the Europa League a couple seasons ago with Frankfurt over in Germany. So what happens from here? Well, in short, Crystal Palace will appeal this decision, no doubt. I'll be surprised if it goes anywhere. If the decision is upheld, then Nottingham Forest will go into the Europa League as a result. They were promoted effectively from the Conference League up to the Europa League. So this is good news for the supporters of the Tricky Trees, but honestly, I don't think they'll be very encouraged by the fact that they've got there in this method. It very much does feel like it's one rule for one and one rule for the other. I mean, I've said before about how hypocritical these multi-club ownership rules are in European competition. Manchester City and Girona, they're both owned by the City Group, yet they both competed in the UEFA Champions League last season. Red Bull Salzburg and Red Bull Leipzig, both owned by, shock horror, Red Bull. They've both competed in the Champions League. They even played each other in the Champions League about 5-6 years ago during lockdown. So if they can compete when they've clearly got the same owners, then why the hell can't Crystal Palace be in the Europa League? It's a farcical decision. I've said it for a while. I knew this was going to happen. It's not a surprise, but still, it's just downright disheartening. It really, really is. But guys, your thoughts in the comments below on this one. In my opinion, a farcical decision and a really disappointing one from UEFA, but also totally predictable. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and hopefully we've got some more uplifting news for you here on the channel. Guys, have a great time wherever in the world today, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. And if you're a Palace fan, I feel sorry for you guys. It's just not right, but it's UEFA, innit?